In the last video, we just learned about the verb tenses. So there has the last point about English grammar is the connection. This connection is other important grammar point. So I'll let Gemini study with me, help me get to know this important grammar point. Are you ready, Gemini?
Let's start with articles. English has two types, definite the and indefinite a, an. The is for specific things, like the sun. A and an are for general things. We say a cat, but an apple. Do you have any questions about using a, an, or the?
Yeah. In the last time, maybe few years ago, I always thought the indefinite articles is a and I, and what's different between these is the number start with a e i o u. The word start with a e i o u. It use an, and any others just use a. Is what I know at the few years ago. Is that right?
Yes, that's absolutely right. A is used before words that start with a consonant sound, and an is used before words that begin with a vowel sound. It's great you remembered that. Are there any other grammar points you'd like to explore?
Yeah, but just a few days ago, I found out a mistake. Because I just know the word start with the alphabet A, E, I, O, U is used, but I didn't know is the voice like A, E, I, O, U. Just listen A, E, I, O, U like warm sound. It's also used and even it's like our is start with the H. So is that right?
Yes, you're right. Even though our starts with the consonant H, it's pronounced with a vowel sound, so we use an. You've got a great ear for this. What other grammar points are you curious about?
Yeah. I just know that a few days ago. So about the articles, I thought. I have another question about the definite articles and indefinite articles different. Is something that we already know is use the definite articles like the cat is we already know the cat is my pet, so we use and what if any cat else we didn't know, we just say a cat. Is that right?
Yes, that's perfect. The cat refers to a specific cat, like your pet, and a cat refers to any cat. You've got a great understanding of this. What other grammar points would you like to discuss?
Why not you do a summary about the indefinite articles and definite articles different again, and let me listen it again and make it clear.
Sure. A and an are indefinite articles, used for general things. A comes before consonant sounds, like a dog, and an before vowel sounds, like an apple. They is the definite article, used for specific things, like the sun. Is that clear, or would you like more examples?
It's clear. I will check the box, check it out. And the next we are discuss.
Great. Feel free to ask if anything else comes up as you're studying.
The next we move on, and the next is the modals, modal verbs. Can, could, may, might, must, should. Could you explain it in more detail?
Modal verbs. These are words like could, may, and might. They add extra meaning to verbs like possibility or necessity. Can means something is possible. I can swim. Could is similar, but sometimes more polite. Could you help me? Do you want to explore the other modals on your list?
What's mean about the verbs? I just wondering how to give them a type.
Modals are used to show if something is possible, necessary, or advisable. May and might show possibility. It may rain. Must shows necessity. I must study. Should gives advice. You should rest. Do you want to know more about the other modals?
Yeah, and what's different about the may and can, or maybe might or could? I think what I sound this is very similar, and I can do something. It's a different. I is maybe, and I can is actually I can't do that, right?
You're right. May and can are similar, but can implies ability. I can swim, while may suggests possibility. I may go swimming tomorrow. Could is the past tense of can, but also polite. Could you help me? Might is like may, but less certain. It might rain. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it might rain. What mean about this sentence?
It might rain means there's a possibility of rain, but it's not certain. It's like saying, maybe it will rain. Does that make sense?
Why we use might, not use may or maybe? It may be rain and it might rain. What's different between these? Between those?
May and might are quite similar, but might suggests a slightly lower possibility. So it may rain means there's a decent chance, while it might rain implies it's less likely. You could also use may when there is a 50% chance of something happening. Do you have any other questions about modal verbs?
It's 15% we can use may. What percent is using might?
Might suggests a lower possibility, maybe around 30% or less. So if you're really unsure about something happening, might is the better choice.
Is if I really unsure something, I use might. But if I have 15% or more, I will use may. It may rain definitely. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. May suggests a higher possibility, while might is used when you're less certain. You've got it.
Let's remember this maybe 30% and 15%. Okay. Let's move on. The next is questions, and you can see the laptop screen and introduce the question grammar for me. Thank you.
WH questions. These are questions that use words like when, why, and how. Who asks about a person? Who is your teacher? What asks about a thing. What is your favorite book? Do you want to go through the rest?
I know the WH question is about ask something like where, when, why, how. And you missed a yes or no question in the below the WH question. Could you explain or you introduce the yes or no question?
Yes, no questions are those that can be answered with a simple yes or no. They usually start with a verb. Are you hungry? Or did you see that movie? Is there anything specific you'd like to know about them?
Okay, the yes or no question is just start with a verb. We made this verb in the first of a sentence. Yeah, maybe I am doing something. We just as a question, am I doing this? Okay. Yeah, we should answer it will be yes or no.
Yes, that's right. Yes, no questions can be answered with a simple yes or no. Do you want to try making a few examples or move on to the next grammar point?
I have another question about WH questions. And in many times I just speak too quickly and I don't think what WH question vocabulary should use. So let's say it again. Sometimes I always say something very quickly and I don't think about it what WH vocabulary should use. And in sometimes I always use what instead of how this and how can I do something to correct this not good habit.
I've got one for you. What is the capital of Japan?
Oh, you misheard me. Let me say it again. Sometimes I speak quickly. That causes me use a wrong WH question word to ask something, like which I use what a lot of times to instead of how. Can you understand? And this how, I will say how, but I said what. So how can I do something to correct this habit?
Here's one for you. How do you get to the airport?
You misheard me again. So I don't know what this is, an internet work problem or something else. So can you hear me now? If you can hear me, I say it again.
Yes, I can hear you clearly now. What's your question?
The question is, when I speak quickly, I always use a wrong word. I use what to instead of how, instead of why. How, what can I do? Something to correct this.
One way to correct this habit is to slow down your speech. Pay close attention to the beginning of your questions and make a conscious effort to use the correct WH word. You could also try practicing common phrases with how and why to get more comfortable with them.
You kick me off, so I just get a right advice. Yes, practice language, maybe let them slow down, and I just say what I think is right, but it's very necessary to slow down the something I speak speed. So
Yes, slowing down your speech can definitely help. It gives you more time to think about the words you're using and make sure they're the right ones. You could also try recording yourself speaking and then listening back to identify any patterns in your mistakes.
maybe I need to find a balance about the speed and the think. I just don't want to think a lot when I say something. It make me don't say. I can't say because if I think a lot, the word what I should use, the sentence is not complete.
It sounds like you're experiencing a common challenge when learning a new language. It's great that you're aware of it. Perhaps focusing on clear pronunciation and intonation first, and then gradually increasing your speed could help. Would you like to explore some techniques for that?
Yeah, could you explain the advice you give me? And I just don't understand all of it. So can you explain this again?
Sure. I suggested focusing on clear pronunciation and intonation first. That means paying attention to how you say each word and the rise and fall of your voice. Once you feel comfortable with that, you can gradually increase your speaking speed. Does that make sense?
I got it. So I just slow a little down speed and say any word and care about any word pronunciation, then make any word clearly. Then I improve my speed speak about talking with people.
Yes, that's right. Slowing down, focusing on clear pronunciation, and then gradually increasing your speed is a great approach. You've got this.
Okay, we just check out the question. Let's move on. The next grammar point is negatives. Please introduce negatives for me.
Negatives. In English, we make a sentence negative by adding not after the helping verb. Do not, is not, or have not. We often use contractions like isn't or haven't. Do you want to see some examples?
Yep, I know that the negative means we don't do something, we not something else. So you give me some example, please.
Sure. I do not like coffee, or I don't like coffee. Another example is they or they aren't going to the party. Would you like a few more examples?
I see the sentence sometimes we use or not. Sometimes we use do not. What's different between these?
Do not and don't have the same meaning. Do not is more formal and used in writing. Don't is a contraction, which is shorter and more common in spoken English. Do you want to practice using them in sentences?
So if I write something, I maybe use the do not is formula or is form is the right form, and when we speak the do not, we just say don't. So it means I just avoid use the don't in the form, right?
Yes, that's correct. Do not is more appropriate for formal writing, while don't is fine for spoken English and informal writing. You should avoid don't in formal writing.
Okay, I just heard about this do not, and I thought it will be very strong emotion about do not is a commander. I thought is that why verbs. So is that right? I feeling?
Do not can sound more forceful than don't, but it's not necessarily about strong emotions. It's more about formality. Do not enter sounds more official than don't enter, for example. Is that clearer?
So do not and don't have a same emotion. We just don't have different about this. So I get it. So let's move on the next plurals.
Plurals. Most nouns become plural by adding an S, like cat becomes cats. But some have different rules, like mouse becoming mice. Are there any specific words you'd like to explore?
Oh, so I get the meaning about plural is making nouns mean more than one. So two peoples, three lights. Is that right?
Yes, you're right. Two people and three lights are both correct examples of plural nouns. People is an irregular plural, and lights is a regular plural. Do you want to explore more examples of either type?
People is irregular plurals. So what we know? How can I know? How do I know the verb, the nouns is a regular plurals? And I just wondering. I just don't know the nouns should use people, two people, three people, and any a lot of people, but the nouns I just don't know.
Sure, some examples of regular plurals are cats, dogs, books, and chairs. Does that help?
So I want to know how to make it clear the difference about regular plurals and irregular plurals. Okay, could you give me some advice?
For regular plurals, think of words like cats, dogs, and books. We simply add an S to the end. Irregular plurals are a bit trickier, like children, mice, and teeth. These don't follow the S rule, and you'll mostly need to memorize them. Does that make sense?
So we just need to remember this and don't have any regular rulers, right?
That's right. Irregular plurals don't follow a set pattern, so memorization is key. Regular plurals, on the other hand, usually just involve adding an S, or IS to the end of the word.
Okay?
Okay, let's move on to the next point.
You can see the laptop screen. The next point is in the end.
The last point is subject-verb agreement. In English, the verb in a sentence must match the subject. For example, I walk, or they walk, but he walks. Do you have any questions about this?
Subject verb argument. Okay. Subject is what the object do something about the subject. And the subject, I got it. Subject is do something about object. So subject and verb match in number. What mean about the match in number?
Match in number means that if the subject is singular, the verb is singular. If the subject is plural, the verb is plural. For example, the dog barks, singular, and the dogs bark, plural. Do you want to see a few more examples?
So if the subject is plural, we just use the original forms about the verb. And if the subject is singular, we just use the s at the verbs, right?
Yes, that's correct. For example, the dogs bark, plural subject, original verb form, and the dog barks, singular subject, verb with negative s. Want to try making a few sentences?
What if just the subject is myself? Like I said, I cook a dinner, so that is something should too much a number.
Yes, that's right. I cook dinner is correct because I is the subject and cook is the verb. In this case, I is considered singular, but we use the base form of the verb cook. It's one of the exceptions. You're doing great.
I got it. So the other important grammar point is learned is we have done this learning. So about the next video, we have to beginning to study verbs. Oh, no verbs. I will study about the vocabulary. So about this English grammar learning tutorial, maybe I don't remember a lot. Just let me have a whole look to about English grammar. What do you think?
Great. We can start with general vocabulary in our next session.
I ask you, what do you think about we learned a little simple English grammar at the beginning?
Starting with simple English grammar is a great foundation. It's like building blocks. Understanding the basics makes it easier to learn more complex things later on. What made you interested in learning English grammar?
Because of the time, we have half an hour recording this video. So let's take this question to another English video. So say goodbye, Gemini, to my China views.
Goodbye, China Views. I've enjoyed our English lesson today. I'm looking forward to our next session where we'll explore some new vocabulary together.
Maybe the China viewers. Goodbye.